Good evening, everyone. We're just waiting for all our speakers to join, but I'm very, very happy to see everyone with us today. Of course, the conversation is mentioned earlier on in our Twitter space. We are talking about cryptocurrency. And cryptocurrency is a conversation I know we needed to have, definitely, just to help everyone understand what cryptocurrency is all about. I know cryptocurrencies have gained a lot of attention over the last decade, and Bitcoin was introduced as the first cryptocurrency to allow direct online payments, well, without relying on centralized financial entities. And as you know by now, Bitcoin has vastly grown as a financial asset rather, and not becoming and not remaining just as a tool for online payments, but as much more, and many other cryptocurrencies have come up. I know today we have an array of guests, and many of them, if not all, are some who have also been trading with cryptocurrency. We have Ernest Igwe, who is a software engineer and crypto enthusiast. And of course, also we have there Oswago, I hope I'm getting your name right, Oswago Andrew Uche, who is a financial analyst. And we also have Jeff Mkungusi, who is the director of the Africa Blockchain Center, and two other gentlemen here who have a lot of knowledge as far as cryptocurrency is concerned, just as the others, is Kwame Opoku, all the way from Ghana, who is a cryptocurrency trading coach. And also we have Raymond Kaptich, who is a cryptopreneur and educator, as he calls himself. Gentlemen, are you with us today? I don't know if you can hear me. And of course, I just have to mention my co-host who is with us, and I'm happy to see her as always. That's Maria Sarungi. Maria, would you like to say anything to the guests and a little bit about the topic today? I know you're also excited just as much as I am.
Thank you very much, Leah. Yes, definitely. I think this is one of the few topics that most often those of us who are not necessarily in finance have two reactions. Either we are very happy and enthusiastic to learn more, or we run away from it because we think it's some sort of weird science or magic. So I hope that today we'll be able to get more people enthusiastic and to have a real honest discussion whether cryptocurrency is really for Africa. We have people, and actually quite a substantial number of people, even among policymakers, who are a bit reluctant or who see cryptocurrency as something that is not necessarily for Africa, but rather futuristic or something that they would say is experimental. So I really hope that today some of the speakers can argue that point as well and able to get some of the decision makers on board and convince them that cryptocurrency is for Africa. So looking forward to this discussion there.
Thank you so much, Maria. I'll just go straight into the discussion. And I want to mention that every other person who's also with us today, as we listen through this discussion, will be open to you to make a comment. Tell us if you have been trading as well, your experience. And I'm very happy that we have gentlemen amongst the speakers who have been trading. And I know one of them there, Ernest Igwe, did mention when we were talking about him coming on, and he mentioned that he has been trading, he has made losses. And I know also Andrew has been trading and just studying the back end. I just want to throw it over, especially to Kwame. Kwame, you have been a coach who has been, training different people across the continent on how to trade on cryptocurrency. But I mean, I just want to hear from you. What really is cryptocurrency in general, for those who do not even understand what cryptocurrency is?
All right. Thank you, Leah, for having me. I hope you can hear me loud and clear.
Yes, I can.
Amazing. Greetings from Accra, Ghana, the motherland. If you've not been, you should. As I think I work as an ambassador for my country, so I needed to do that shameless plug. And I hope there are some Ghanaians here. But straight to the topic, what are cryptocurrencies? Cryptocurrencies are basically digital assets. Some people prefer the word digital currencies. I use the word currencies very carefully because of the type of pessimistic, pushback that the word currency sort of evokes from governments and policymakers and the people in charge of our money. So I would, for the lack of a better word, call cryptocurrencies digital assets. So that's number one. Keep that in mind as a rule of thumb. It is not physical, it is not fiat, it is not notes, it is not coins. Physical and tangible, no, it exists only electronically. So it's digital assets. Secondly, they are cryptographically encrypted.
everyone. Sorry about the technical problem we have encountered there. I'm happy to have you back. Again, today's topic, we're talking about cryptocurrency, just trying to understand what cryptocurrency is all about. I know we had a few of our speakers, they're coming back on. Again, apologies to every one of you who is with us today. And as we wait for all the speakers to come back, I do know we have Raymond here, and of course, Kwame also is back. I'm happy to see you back, Kwame. Kwame, I know you were making a point about what cryptocurrency is all about. Sorry again for the drop off on the link we had here for the space. But Kwame, if you can just pick up from what you were talking about as we quickly move ahead to the other speakers, you can just finish off on what you were saying. Cryptocurrency is just helping us to lay a foundation in understanding what it is. Go ahead, Kwame.
All right, thank you. So just to wrap it up and make it shorter this time, there are three key things I wanted everybody to remember when they think cryptocurrencies, to give it a very simple explanation as to what they are. So number one, they are digital assets or digital currencies. Number two, they are cryptographically encrypted, which means they're secured end to end and private in nature by the very nature of it. The third thing that is key to know about cryptocurrencies, apart from the fact that they're digital assets, they are cryptographically encrypted, is the fact that they need to exist on the blockchain. So if it's a digital asset or currency that does not exist on the blockchain, it does not count for cryptocurrencies. The only thing to also note about the blockchain is quite simply, it is a public ledger, or let's call it a public notebook, where all transactions are recorded and can be confirmed by every person who has access to the ledger. So instead of our private centralized ledgers, like what the banks run, so your money, for instance, in a bank is on the bank's server. It is kept by a centralized body, which is the bank that you trust to keep your money, and they maintain the financial flow of your own money, right? But on the blockchain, it's decentralized, it's public, it's verifiable by all. So what are cryptocurrencies in a nutshell? Digital currencies, never forget. So they are not physical, they're not notes, they're not coins as the ones that you can touch. They exist digitally. So digital assets or currencies, cryptographically encrypted, and must exist on the blockchain. Those are cryptocurrencies. Thank you.
Thank you, Kwame. Raymond, I know you're here. All this language of cryptographically encrypted and digital assets, I know Kwame has given us a good understanding, so far what cryptocurrencies is, but let me just hear from you, Raymond. Just putting it further in layman's language, what do we mean when we talk about cryptographically encrypted digital assets in terms of currency? What are your thoughts, Raymond?
All right. Thank you so much, Leah. Awesome introduction, Kwame, all the way from Accra. Glad to connect with all of you right here in Nairobi. Don't be scared with the terminology, cryptographically and all that. It's just a system to ensure there is no foul play. In the traditional banking world, which Kwame had mentioned, you would have a bank to ensure that, there is no double spending, you have the money that you're spending. If you look at maybe card transactions, the likes of Visa, Mastercard, they are the intermediary. They make sure there is no foul play. But when it comes to cryptocurrency, you need an independent party to make sure there is no foul play. And this is where obviously blockchain technology comes in, and transactions are embedded onto the blockchain by use of what is called cryptography. And if you go back historically, imagine in the old days where people used to go to war. Imagine yourself, Leah, as a general, and of course you need to send information to your men on the ground. But at the same time, the enemy is listening. So obviously you have to, code your information. This is what we call encryption. It can be seen publicly, but of course, it has to be verified in a way that, ensures, there is trust from the system. So that's a bit of light on cryptography. Back to you, Leah.
Thank you, Raymond. I think one of the things I'd love to hear from here on is from Uche, and I don't know if Uche is able to hear me. If Uche is around, but I can't seem to see Uche here. But I know Jeff Nkunkusi, you're here. I can see you there. Is Jeff here? Can you hear me, Jeff? All right, but just moving on. I know we'll try and get back our speakers. A bit of a challenge there, but we do hope to get them all back. Kwame, even as we talk about cryptocurrency and trying to understand, I know it's been a phenomenon that's growing very fast in Africa. There's just a bit of dragging of feet, perhaps, by different African countries and governments adopting this currency. Why do you think perhaps this is the case, Kwame? Is it an issue of trust, or in terms of security and the risks involved in using cryptocurrency? What really is the problem? Why are governments very slow in adopting and getting used to cryptocurrency as a mode of payment?
I will try and be as objective as I ought to be for the benefit of everybody that's listening. Normally, I would carry my opinion and be as biased as possible, but I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do that this time. And so to first put, of course, try and put my legs in the government's shoes and feel it out. Generally, and this is not a great note, policy is normally one of the greatest bottlenecks to innovation, period. And this can be tracked throughout all of the technological evolutions that we have seen, especially on this continent. There is this very backward, laid-back, timid approach to innovative breakthrough technologies that were almost, if you think about something as simple as telephony, when the telephone communication technological boom came, we were so late that when we adopted telephony, it was already cell phones that were in vogue. We never got the opportunity to be part of the revolution of landlines and all of that, right? The mass adoption of Africa into the telephony technology was at cell phones level. So we literally were very, very late. And this can be, like I said, if you look at even the evolution of the internet, the early day computers, when did computers actually get to Africa for the everyday young African in the basic school in Kuala Lumpur or in Accra, get access to the computers? It was in the early 2000s. So we're still very, very late. So I think is a thing. There is precedence for the fact that governments and policy normally react very, very slow. My difficulty with it is instead of considerably throwing some research and development at any technology that we don't seem to understand, so that we can get professional information about it, and then look at the opportunities it represents, the dangers it represents. Because at the core, every single technology does have an advantage and a disadvantage. You can look through all of technologies. The one that changed the world as we know it, which is fire. Fire is the one thing that powered everything we see today as technologies. But if you're not careful, that same fire will burn down your entire country. That's the disadvantage. Look at computers. There were viruses. We created antiviruses. Look at banking. There was bank theft. We started looking at risk mitigation and ways to... So there's not a single technology that exists on the face of the earth that does not have a disadvantage. The problem we're facing on the continent is governments are saying no and closing the door instead of going research, development, R&D. What are the basics? How does it work? Of what benefit can it be? Look at a continent that still has about 60% of its population unbanked. 960 million people who still cannot access financial services. And you have a technology that only needs you to be connected to the internet and any type of device, and you will be able to access financial services. And the governments are not going at least R&D, right? So the why is very difficult. We might have needed a government person to answer that question. I am more in the training education game of getting the information out there to the everyday African to say, hey, look at this thing here right now because governments are not moving fast enough. In fact, if you look at the United States government, they are still prospecting and researching ways in which they can regulate. Almost every single country that has thrown regulation seems very premature because even the people who are in the space, actively playing the space, cannot fully, put a finger on their entirety of the industry because it is so nascent and so young, and it is growing so many branches every blessed day that it's even very difficult to keep up. And so the answer to that question is we don't know. We don't know why governments are slow. We know that they have concerns. We know that some of them don't just want to hear it because of the lack of governmental control and the fact that they will not be able to control the moving parts of it. We know that some are throwing it away because they're scared that it would crumble their economies. But then we're seeing by and large that there is beginning to be some level of consensus among at least proactive countries going, let's look at regulations, let's look at understanding, let's look at a way to monitor but allow it to thrive. And so that's what it looks like with the question that you asked. Back to you, Leah.
All right. Ernest, I know you're here. Ernest, we spoke earlier before, just coming on. I know you were telling me all these things about how you've been trading cryptocurrency and the experiences of making money and losing money. But as someone who has been trading, what has the experience been like for you, Ernest?
Hello, Leah. So for me, I started out in Bitcoin. Normally, I was curious technically. I tried to see what is blockchain, how it works, and eventually I got into the technical side of it. I even built my own mini blockchain just for fun. And then eventually I see that these things are traded, in which case it goes up. You can buy and sell it when it goes up to make some money. So I decided to try. And then I got hooked because I didn't know what that means. I didn't know what trading is supposed to be. Then after I lost some money, I went back, started to study these things, and then started to actually understand what that means. Because you see, most of us wouldn't have been trading in the stock market, but when you see crypto, you think it's so easy to get in. You can just go and trade it in Binance or Coinbase and all those places. But there are a lot of risk involved, even though it seems you can make a lot of money, but they have inherent risk that you have to be aware of.
All right, Ernest, thank you so much. I'll still, pose a question to you, Ernest. I know you are a software developer. And like you've mentioned, you've lost money, you've made money, and you decided, hey, I'm just going to try and understand this cryptocurrency business, what happens, how does it work? I know you do a lot of back-end stuff, and given your history, you're trying to understand cryptocurrency from the back end. But what have you noted in terms of just trying to understand the workings of cryptocurrency trading with the different cryptocurrencies that exist?
You mean in terms of what to trade and what not to trade? Is that what you mean?
Yes, it's basically your experience when you went to the back end as someone who understands software development, how applications work, how systems work, and of course the digital currency system. What have you noted there that you can maybe share with us as knowledge on what really happens in the back end of the operations of trading cryptocurrencies?
All right. So in terms of how the exchanges work, if you notice, most of them have these are just books. They record the trading information. They don't always put the currencies, the coins on the blockchain when you trade them. So you basically trade on the company's ledger, on their book. So they store it with them, which means if it gets somehow hacked or goes down or goes bankrupt, your coin is gone. So first thing you have to know is that if you need to keep it safe, very safe, you have to take it off the exchanges. You have to put it in a wallet in which you control the keys. And also, if you could use multiple exchanges for trading, that could be fine, because sometimes when when the coin is going up or when it's going down, they start having glitches that you don't want when you're losing money. So if you have them in different places, you can have a chance to get something out if you need to.
Fantastic. That's very interesting. I do know one of our speakers today. I don't know if he's there with us today, but we'll try and get him back. Oh yeah, actually you're here, Uche. I know you're back with us. I just ask you to tap on the button to allow you to speak if you can see it there, Uche.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Fantastic. Uche, you've also been trading cryptocurrencies. What are the different cryptocurrencies you have interacted with, and how has that fared for you?
Some got me burnt, and some have been doing wonderfully well. I interacted with a lot of but the one that got me burnt recently is the Luna. So that's the aspect where I told you is very, it's a high risk. So
Okay.
Basically it involves a lot of research. Deep down, you need to research a lot. You just need to be at your A game. If any slight lose and focus, and your money is gone. So I think that's where the government is seeing it, and that it needs to be regulated and so. But nevertheless, it's the future, and instead of trying to cop every avenue to get on crypto, the government should research on how to regulate and also encourage it, because it's a very big form of financial inclusion that would help everybody, the whole world, to connect, and you'll be able to send money to do your things at a very fast pace. So
Let me just ask you a random question, Uche. On a good day, what's the most you've made trading cryptocurrency?
The most I've made, to be honest, I've made about 1,600 in crypto trading.
Wow.
The most. So, but it comes, intermittently, and sometimes you lose. But that's the most I've made. It has to do with
All right.
the amount of capital you used to enter the trade.
All right. Thank you so much, Uche. Raymond, the different cryptocurrencies that are in existence, which ones are doing well at this time?
Thank you, Leah. Of course, if you look at the crypto market, Bitcoin takes up about 40% of the market. And then Ethereum is number 2 at about almost 17%. And then the rest of the coins, scramble for what is remaining. So Bitcoin is the main driver. And then followed by Ethereum. And then, of course, you have a couple of stable coins, coins like Binance Coin, the likes of Cardano. So there are very many coin listing platforms out there, Leah. If you go to CoinGecko or CoinMarketCap, you can see the top 10, 20, 100 coins. You can see their volume, how much is traded daily. So generally, the entire crypto market does at least $100 billion a day in terms of trade. Back to you, Leah.
Was a big buzz globally. Might you be able to tell us exactly what happened? Because I know you do keep tabs. Question I'm posing to you.
Leah, I think that for a minute we couldn't hear you. Can you repeat the question, please?
Hello?
Yes.
Raymond, are you there?
Repeat your question, Leah. I think you went off. I didn't hear what you asked.
Sorry about that. Apologies for that. This is a digital space. I know technical issues will emerge here and there. But my question was, recently there was a crash on the Luna crypto, and it was a big buzz globally. But given that you do monitor and you've been trading for a bit, I mean, what would you say was really the problem?
All right, Leah, I think you asked about the recent crash on Luna. I hope I got it right.
Yes.
First of all, I'm not a day trader, just or the other traders. But from reading, from snippets here and there, of course, there are different points of view. Others point towards market manipulation. Others, think, of course, maybe even some governments were behind it. But all in all, the moment the USD stablecoin, which is affiliated or associated to Luna, lost the peg to the dollar, obviously it created a domino effect. And of course, Luna Foundation had to sell about 35,000 Bitcoins to try and stabilize their coin, which obviously created more panic in the market. And before long, everything was down to zero for Luna. So you can point to manipulation. You can, there's a lot of views out there. So I cannot really pinpoint what exactly went on. Most of the regulators are investigating, obviously, in Korea, in the US. So I believe in good time we'll get to know, we'll get to learn more about what actually happened. Back to you, Leah.
Thank you, Raymond. Kwame, you are a coach as far as trading cryptocurrency is concerned. And given their mentions of risk and the fact that also I've seen online where people are told the more you invest, the more you make, the more the possibility of you making a lot of money. I mean, some people even say it's a pyramid scheme. Would you call the cryptocurrency a pyramid scheme, Kwame?
I think that a pyramid scheme is very, very unique in the way that it operates. And if you look at sort of the factors that make it a pyramid scheme, you would be able to tell. The answer to that question is absolutely not. I do not see the difference in cryptocurrencies and stocks. Somebody will say, but stocks have real companies who are building real things. Well, most crypto projects are real businesses who are building real solutions that real people are using. And I can give you 101,000 examples of such projects. Ethereum has built smart contracts that's allowing for trustless, permissionless transactions all over the world. For instance, a project like Render is building a decentralized global GPU that would allow you to render large files of content in the internet, in the cloud, and be able to move content around. So imagine a whole film studio that doesn't need to worry about, we just shot a movie and it's 18 terabyte and we need to move it all the way. They can finish, simply upload that into the cloud, render it through a globally shared, decentralized GPU that allows you to render in record time. So they're real. If you look at Cardano, trying to create faster, cheaper smart contracts. If you look at Solana, the same thing. If you look at projects like, you can find charity projects, medicine or medical based projects. You will find projects in currently the biggest trend in crypto now in terms of coins that are doing very well is move to earn. And these are projects that are encouraging you to work out, but with the incentive of getting rewards from the crypto. So there are real tangible utility to some of these projects. Of course, like any other market, there are a lot of worthless non-utility things that will come into play. And some of them have come like that. And even when the community decided it should have value, it happened. And this is what happened with Dogecoin, and this is what happened with Shiba Inu, two cryptocurrencies that became billion-dollar unicorn businesses because community decided it started as nothing, but we believe in it and we wanted to have something. And now they are all very, very strong utility projects. So it cannot be a pyramid scheme. Anybody who calls cryptocurrencies and the entire digital asset ecosystem a pyramid scheme has not done their reading on the literature. They've not looked at what's possible. They've not looked at the fundamentals of the market. To call cryptocurrencies a pyramid scheme is to deny the very basis of economics. The growth in value of cryptocurrencies is premised on supply and demand. These are the basic facets of economics, right? And it's the same thing. It's the same way if you look at even real fiat currencies of countries and you look at them being traded in the forex market, where a currency can trade higher than another currency. The US dollar gains strength over the Kenyan shilling, over the Ghana cedis, over the Nigerian naira. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down, supply and demand, depending on the commodities and the economy that is backing that particular currency. So you need to just do a little bit of the reading of the literature to know that this is real, it's tangible. They've tried to, throw it away, close it down, shut it down. It's not possible. It's now a teenager. 13 years old Bitcoin is, which is the oldest cryptocurrency, and it has created more millionaires than any industry in the last century. Think about that for a minute. The number of millionaires that has been created by the crypto markets is more than any other industry in the last 100 years. So nobody can now begin to look at it as a funny little thing anymore. Bitcoin's all-time high was almost $70,000, was 69,404 or so, right? That's an asset you don't want to sleep on. At that time, its market capitalization had overtaken some of the biggest banks in the world. Chase, I think, had even overtaken Coca-Cola and all of that. It was probably in the top 10 assets in the world, at about 2 point something or 1 point something trillion dollars in that particular asset. And so this is not something that, this is not the time you begin to brush it off. It's the time you go, let me really look at this for what it is and see what's possible. But at this point, I don't think anybody will be able to call cryptocurrencies a pyramid scheme. I don't believe so.
Thank you, Kwame. I tend to ask myself, and I know this is a question you'll hear many people asking, okay, this is cryptocurrency, we are trading on a digital platform, but I'd like you, Raymond, to help us understand what exactly is traded. When you talk about cryptocurrency and there are people who are trading, what is being traded? How does this system work? When you're talking to different people, you're educating them. Educate us today, Raymond.
All right. Thank you again, Leah. As I keep repeating, I'm not. I educate on the industry about cryptocurrency. Of course, there is trading. There is what we call mining. There is adoption as a means of payment, and then of course, you have an entire ecosystem around the crypto industry. Software, hardware development. So I'm not so much focused on trading, but just to pick up from what Kwame said, the best comparison, I guess, would be either the forex market or the stock market. When you look at the stock market, what goes on in the Nairobi Securities Exchange. I mean, people are buying shares for companies that are, listed there. Buy low, sell high, and that goes on every day. If you look at the forex market, globally, I think it's about $5 trillion. People buy currencies and sell, on a daily basis. So cryptocurrencies are just the same. You buy Bitcoin today, at 30,000. Tomorrow it goes to 35,000. You sell. So there are people who do that every minute, every hour, every day, every week. So it is buying and selling a digital asset that has value, the same way, people would buy and sell, stocks and shares, and of course, the forex market. So back to you, Leah, and of course, anybody else can add to that.
Thank you. Maria, I see you may have a question. Go ahead.
Yes, thanks, Leah. My question will be, I think I will throw it out there. on the fact that there has been quite a number of scams around cryptocurrency. So we've seen that, for example, lately, some people have been hacked, and I was actually a victim of that, although it wasn't around cryptocurrency, but the people whose account has been hacked and it has been taken over by people who are masquerading as cryptocurrency traders. There's also, we know that through SMS, we know through some, spams, people say, oh, come and trade, you can make quick money. How do you weed out the scammers from the real cryptocurrency traders? And I think maybe Kwame can answer that, but any of the other speakers can.
That's a very good one. I think that's one of the greatest concerns. As a coach and as somebody who guides a few institutional traders, risk and security is our key. Two key things that we really focus on. I think the first thing to say, just in the spirit of openness and transparency, is the fact that we're still figuring out the bad players in the space, and as and when they are discovered, we now start prospecting countermeasures. So there are hackers who are probably planning the next move, the next hack that we cannot yet anticipate until it happens. So there's still a lot that we're up against, right? And this is same for every single industry. If you look at banking, if you look at the amount of effort that banks need to commit to educating people on anti or bank fraud measures that they can use to protect themselves. If you look at online, if you look at your kids' education, I mean, in almost every single industry, there are bad players and bad actors, and we constantly. So, in fact, for almost every single industry, there's a sub industry that exists specifically for security and countermeasures against bad players, and this is central everywhere. So that's the first thing. The second thing is there are key things you can do to protect yourself. The what we'll probably call the minimum security, requirements for yourself. Some of the key things to look at is number one, do not just interact with anything. Don't just connect your wallet to anything. Only connect your wallet to trusted, verifiable sources. If they probably knocked your Telegram or your Instagram or your SMS, giving you some free 0.05 Bitcoin, it probably is not, and they will end up draining your account. So the first thing is, don't just connect to things. A lot of things glitter like gold in crypto. They are not, and you will be shocked at that. So that's one. Secondly, I think that it was Raymond who said it earlier. As much as you can, after you've traded your currencies on centralized exchanges, move it off it and take it to your own custodial and non-custodial wallet, which means that you're the one who is in absolute control of the wallet through something called a seed phrase, that allows you to protect the wallet. Once that seed phrase is exposed, anybody who has access to that seed phrase can access your wallet. And once you lose it and do not have that seed phrase, you might not be able to access the wallet when you decide to move the wallet from one place to the other. So very important. If you're new in crypto, study specifically about cryptocurrency scams, how to spot them, and also security measures that you can put in place. In terms of scams, if the team is unknown, often more often than not is going to be a terrible rock pull or exit scam. Run away from it. If they don't have proper tokenomics, they've not built anything, and almost everything they're selling you is a promise. Chances are there's nothing there. So there are key things, and we might not be able to run through every single one of it because of time. I take time and teach this in weeks to clients and to people that I train. So, but these are some of the key things you can do. I'm sorry for your loss. Maria, I have suffered a few of my own losses due to sometimes my own actions or inactions, and then sometimes just you just don't know how it happens. I've had my MetaMask, for instance, drained, but later I realized that it was one of those DeFi protocols that I connected to that was breached in an attack that allowed them to get access to my seed phrase. So it was somewhat indirectly my fault. So if you do your part, especially in the part of social engineering, right now a lot of the scammers have gotten very clever. They have very beautiful ways of letting you surrender your crypto wallets and crypto exchange information. So you just really need to be up to speed as to the basic security requirements. Don't share your seed phrase. Don't just connect your wallet to anything. Most likely, if you can get a cold wallet, which is a physical one, I have two of them lying here with me. For any of my long-term holdings, I put them offline completely in a cold wallet, have it stored properly. So there are all of these things that you can definitely look into. But like I said, there's not enough time for us to go through all of that. Back to you, Maria and Leah.
Thank you. Maria, you want to go ahead or do I go ahead?
Whatever, but just a very quick one actually is also a more broader question around digital literacy. So the other thing that I'm noticing is, if I listen to Kwame and I'm listening to it like someone who has no idea really about cryptocurrency or just has a faint idea about it, what is coming out is that today, in order to be able to fruitfully engage in cryptocurrency, you need to have the digital literacy to do that. But also you need to be so much aware of security that Kwame just talked about. There is what has been continuously voiced by many activists in Africa about the digital divide. Isn't the cryptocurrency opening up a larger digital divide, especially if we will reach a point whereby digital currency is going to be the most powerful currency after, let's say, the US dollar or anything else, which, maybe we are already there, but some of us are not aware. What about the digital divide? How can Africans really benefit from it? And this is where my concern is that, and I heard you, Kwame, that some of the governments are actually closing themselves away from the digital currency, or treating it as a scam or treating it as a pyramid scheme instead of fully engaging. But what happens to the average African who may think, again, as I say, cryptocurrency is like some magic and it's not real? And I would really like to hear from most of the speakers and their perspective from the given countries about cryptocurrency and the digital divide.
All right, maybe I jump in real quick and try and leave enough meat on the table for the other speakers. But to answer the question, Maria, I think that it's a very, very valid concern. The Gini coefficient is growing crazily across the continent, specifically for digital. However, my thinking, and this is my sense, right? My thinking is we have a better chance at this than even the banking industry did, and this is the simple reason why I say this. If you look at the success of mobile money in Western Africa, and if you look at the success of mobile money in East Africa, specifically Kenya, with the product in Pesa, and the fact that my mother, who is 72 years old today, is able to send mobile money from one person to the other. She's able to access it. She's able to make payments with it. She's able to pay for light and everything. It should simply tell you, again, and this is something you can look at. There's something called the Gardner hype cycle. Not to berate you with too much information. There's something known as the Gardner hype cycle, which is literally a study of the various cycles that all new technologies go through till they hit mass adoption. And what happens is the early adopters normally and almost all the time deal with the sophisticated technology because it's new, it's cumbersome, we're still trying to figure it out. But once you realize is that once it gets to mass adoption, oftentimes it's gone through so many iterations and the product has been so refined through the UI and UX experience to the point where it's literally so simple to use it. It's so simple to do it. And that's what I foresee for cryptocurrencies, that it would probably get to the point where you can access it via USSD, where you type star la ya ya ya, and that connects you to a particular exchange, and you're able to quickly do a transaction and move money from one point to the other. Already, these are things that are possible as service provisions in specific domains. So I think that it's not all bleak. You do have a legitimate concern, but looking at the rate of digital growth, digital inclusion, as opposed to even banking, which is probably more than a century old, still has 60% not covered. But look at the level of digital growth on the continent. I think we do have a better prospect, a better future, especially in a world where you have about 6 different billion-dollar companies trying to work on providing free internet to the globe at gigabit speed. I mean, that's something that gives so much more hope for the future. So I would rather lean onto the optimistic side and say, yes, it is a concern, but I do believe, looking at the numbers, looking at the data, looking at how other technologies have grown over time, that cryptocurrencies will not widen, but might as well be the one thing that brings the kind of full inclusive digital adoption we need, both for literates, semi-illiterates, and total illiterates, because it would be so easy to access as we scale and as adoption gets bigger. This is my thinking, Maria.
Thank you, Kwame. Maria did ask, and I really wanted to go back, especially to the back end. And thank you so much, Kwame, and everyone. Again, I want to mention for everyone who's joining us right now, who has been with us, the floor is open to you to ask questions to Kwame and the rest of the speakers. And if you have a comment, maybe you have been trading or you have an experience, share with us. The floor is open to you. But even as we wait for anyone else who'd like to just speak, I want to ask Ernest a question. Ernest, I know you mentioned that you have been trying to study the cryptocurrency trading and with the aspect of the back end, trying to understand the risks and looking at how to minimize your risks, because as you mentioned, you've made money, you've lost money. Explain to us, Ernest, the workings, the back end of trading with cryptocurrency, and maybe also just in a layman's language. I asked this question and I'd really love it to be, explain to me like a little child. What is being traded? How is it being traded on the back end of how cryptocurrencies work? Ernest, that's a question to you.
All right, yeah. So, what is being traded? It's basically the coins are being traded, but there are kinds of trading. This is something they borrowed from the normal stock market, where they trade actual shares of a company, and they trade futures. This is you trade. This is even more virtual than the coins themselves. You don't trade the actual coins, but you sort of try to trade which direction the market will move. It either goes up, and in which case you make money. If it goes down, you lose money. And these two kinds of trading are not all the same. If you're new, you're better off trying the normal trading, which is you buy a coin and then you sell it. You buy it low, you sell it high. But if you understand trading, then you get into instruments of finance like futures. And in these cases, you can actually get to zero. Your money can actually be zero at the end of the day if you lose. But in the other kinds of trading, where you trade the actual coins, you can only lose in dollar terms, but not the coin. If you buy one Bitcoin and then it goes from 60,000 to 30,000, you still have one Bitcoin. But if you buy the futures of Bitcoin, and instead of going from 60 to 100, it goes from 60 to 30, you lose money, and you can actually lose your entire money if you bought with some leverage. So the risk here is that if you don't know how to trade, if you don't understand the terms, the financial terms, do not trade, just buy and hold the coin. If it goes up, you want to sell it, go ahead and sell it. But if you want to trade, you have to learn how to do it correctly. Because if you don't do that, you will lose your money, and you will lose more than you win. And that's basically gambling.
And let's talk about risks. Maria mentioned she lost money. Kwame says he has lost money. And I'm sure there are many others out there who have lost money just trading cryptocurrency. When you look at the back end, and I really want you to help us understand, what are the risks like when it comes to trading?
For trading, there are several risks. In fact, the real risk is losing your money. You will lose your money and it will go to zero. If you notice what happened with Luna, it actually went to zero. And this is something that you should anticipate in a lot of the currencies. There are risks. It's a new technology. A lot of risks are here. A lot of hackers are here. So you need to take security measures to not get hacked. You need also to try to protect your capital investment. If you're a trader, you do not buy anything and hope it goes up. You have to do your research. You have to search. You have to be sure what you're buying. Not completely sure, of course, but you have to not buy anything you see. Don't think you can just get rich quick. It's not a get rich quick scheme. It could be if you get lucky, but if you want to stay long term, you do not do that. You buy things that are a bit sure. If you're not sure what to buy, just buy Bitcoin. It has been here for all the time. It most likely will be here for a long time. So if you understand other coins, if you want to trade Cardano and the rest, go ahead. But be sure that you're trading with your understanding that it could go to zero, most of them. And
But
if
how?
you trade,
Go ahead.
yes, go ahead.
Yeah. So I mean, when we talk about hacking, and I know as a software developer, you'd understand how hackers come in and they can hack your account or whatever, your wallet, as they call it, and you lose money. How can you protect yourself from hackers?
How can how can I hack you?
But we've heard of people who talk about
That,
being hacked, their accounts being hacked.
yes, you can definitely get hacked. So your question is how to prevent it or how you can get hacked?
Yes, I mean, basically my question is how can you prevent it? Just generally what I'm saying, how do I protect myself from hackers?
Okay, how to protect from getting hacked? As as Kwame said, this is new technology. A lot of things are still being ironed out, but there are things you can do to prevent a lot of damages. One of them is if you buy a coin, get a wallet and move it to the wallet from the exchanges. You see, you remove the risk of losing all your money, all your coins if the exchange fails or gets hacked. And another thing is to be aware that if you're not connected to the internet, you can't really get hacked. So you should try to put your coins in a place where it doesn't connect to the internet. This is why we have the USB like thing called Ledger or some other one like Nano, where you can put the coin. It's like a USB. You put your coin there. It doesn't connect online. It's basically called cold storage. It's there. It's like something that only you know and only you control. It can't get hacked easily unless someone has access to the physical device. If you leave your coin on the phone, it's fine. Phone is the next safe thing here because it's with you most of the time, as long as you don't let the viruses attack your phone. So to prevent getting hacked, you basically have to take some hygiene, like don't click any link that you think could give you money. And the reason this is that if you click links that look like they are the right links for you, but is not, it can deceive you into doing things you don't want to do, and you can lose your money. So be sure of the links you're clicking. Be sure of the websites you're visiting. Don't visit random websites because people will make fake ones just to collect your money. These are the major things people do now to avoid getting hacked.
All right. Thank you so much. I see Kinange here. You want to say something? Go ahead. Kinange, if you can hear me.
I think it's dropped. We have Shio, P-side Shio.
Yeah, I see he goes by the name Kinange. Kinange, if you can just tap the button on your screen that would allow you to be able to speak. Can you see it there? Goes by the name Shio. I don't know if you can hear us, but Kwame, I just listening to everything that Igwe has talked about, just the risks and how to protect yourself. One thing I haven't asked you is what has your experience been like? Because you seem to be a great advocate for cryptocurrencies. Tell us exactly how your experience has been in trading and just even being an educator of how to trade cryptocurrencies.
Well, I think that, look, like all, especially let's just stick to financial markets again. For everybody that's joined since we started, you're welcome. Thanks for spending your time with us. This for me is one of the most inspiring things, is the hunger for knowledge, across the continent. For me, that's very, very inspiring. It tells you that the people want to access opportunities, and that for me is very exciting. Now back to the question. My experience has been quite different, just like everybody. Well, I bought my first Bitcoin in 2014, so I've been at this for a while. I didn't fully start understanding the market until about 3, 4 years later, when I started studying the blockchain technology as part of my studies as a futurist. But my experience had been, being new, being amateur, following the crowd. Everybody gets hyped, and I follow the hype. No understanding of fundamental analysis, technical analysis, no understanding of the fundamentals of how the markets work, and understanding the mathematics and sort of all of the formula and everything that was involved in being able to make sound investment decisions. Again, at the time, I approached with a trader mentality. Traders normally are looking for short gains, and I did find out that that's probably not the best. It can be one of your wealth creation and wealth accumulation strategies, but it cannot be your overarching mindset. So the thing for me is, I did learn, and let me give specific pointers so that people can take value out of this, which is, number one, if you're going to make money in these markets, you need to have a disciplined strategy for by which you approach the market. If you approach the market with no single strategy, and you're coming out there to get some quick money, you have some $1,000 living there, sitting around, you're trying to turn into $100,000. You hear somebody said they made it with a coin that has a dog as a logo, so you want to do that, you most likely are going to lose that $1,000. So the first thing is a strategy. The second thing is, do yourself the favor and get the knowledge around the market before you start putting your money in. Do yourself a very great favor and read the literature, understand the market. You will not just walk into a bank and insist on a particular investment option that they have. No, you're going to sit with the bank's investment experts and let them run you through the boutique of products that they have, and let you know the advantages and, if there are, the disadvantages of each and every one of them. Some are fixed, some are fluid, some have high returns, some have higher risk. All of those things is the same type of mechanism and thinking you need to use to approach the markets. The other thing is, you need to manage two major emotions if you're going to make any form of money in the market. Number one, you need to manage your patience, which is, don't exit projects too quick, don't leave too much money on the table. And number two, you're going to need to manage your greed, which is, don't stay too long, then be caught holding your bag. So let me give two amazing examples. You got into a very good project when it was $1. The project all-time high at about $100. You didn't have the patience, you didn't have the fundamental analysis and the technical analysis to see that potential upside. So you probably exited when the coin got to $20, which means you made 20x. Now the coin is sitting at $100, and you want to slaughter your risk because you could have made 80x more. So if it was $1,000, you took out $20,000, you're smiling, you're happy. 20x doesn't happen in the real world and in the traditional finance markets. However, that one could have been 1,000. That's managing your patience. And you manage your patience based on data, based on fundamentals, based on technicals, based on market cycles, based on social chatter and what people are saying. The second example for not being greedy is, you did hold that coin. The coin did get to $100. Your money has 100x. Your money has multiplied so much, it feels unreal. And you're still being greedy and going, we're going to go another 100. We're going to go another 150, until you wake up on Tuesday morning and realize we're back to 34. And now you want to slaughter your risk the same way because you've lost 76 of your money. Same applies. So if you can manage your emotions, which are greed and patience, you will see a lot more progress in the market. And I think the final thing is, come with the same long-term thinking that any worthwhile investor does. What I've learned, what my experience is the long-term, and I think Raymond mentioned this earlier as well, the long-term investment approach is way better and way more realistic in creating and accumulating wealth than the short term. I'm a day trader. I trade margins, I trade futures, I trade forex, I trade commodities, I trade stocks, I trade synthetic indices. I'm looking into trading binaries. I trade everything that's tradable in the financial markets. And I can say to you for absolutely free that picking fundamentally strong projects in crypto, get it in as early as possible, and waiting it out in 6 to 12 month cycles, especially if you're lucky, when the markets are crashing and we're in a bear market like this, where everything is on discount and everything is cheap, if you can get into some of the fundamentally strong projects that are all 80% down from their all-time highs, you could dramatically change your financial standing and your net worth once the market recovers and goes bullish. So those are the things that are key for people to know. You don't just enter the market and hope. You don't just enter the market and wish. You don't just enter the market and become rich the following day. That's not how money works. That's not how wealth works. And that's not how cryptocurrencies work. Back to you, Leah.
All right. Thank you so much, Kwame. Very strong sentiments there. I have quite a number of you who want to speak. I'll just begin with Faiza, Henry, Eric. I will definitely come to you. Just stay put. Let me go fast to Faiza and just give Faiza an opportunity to speak. Faiza, go ahead.
Hi, Leah. Thank you so much for giving an opportunity to speak. My name is Faiza, and I'm from Kenya. And I really like what you guys are doing. And Futurist Kome, the last speaker, is really having some good information. And wow, this industry is just 90%, skills. And if your money, if you can invest in the skills more, it becomes better. So I've been in the industry for now almost 2 years, and I have learned quite a few things. I'm from a field of medicine, but I decided to quit being in the hospital to be in the crypto industry. So that means crypto was meant for Africa. So since then, when I learned that, I was just doing research about, crypto and, the Web3 blockchain. And I learned that, the market cap is about 1.28 trillion as of now. Like, it made me shift. So right now we are in a bear market, right? And if you look at things, 50% of the market is flashed out. And just like as Futurist has said, that is how the market behaves. This is, for me, I feel like this is a year of flash out. We're going to flash out gamblers. We're going to flash out shitcoiners. The weak, it's only the survivors who are going to survive this. So it also needs you to really get updated on what is happening in the space. You go offline and you miss a lot because one very big announcement will affect the market, and once you come back you find things have changed. So as a crypto enthusiast, you should be really, really up to date with information. So again, just as Futurist has mentioned, I like what you guys what he said. Of course, there's a lot of ways again to make money in the market, but as a person, you have to find one way. Don't be a jack of everything, Be if you are an NFT enthusiast, be it. If you're a trader, then you get the skills. Just focus on one thing, and at the end of the day, you're gonna so just know exactly how you're going to apply the things that concern you. Just choose a niche, master, charge whatever you want to do because you are the best in it. So
I know you mentioned that you actually left a job in a hospital, if I caught you right. So how is this working for you? On a good day, how much have you made? What is this amount you made that made you go like, hey, I'm just going to quit my job and go into cryptocurrency trading?
Well, to be honest, when I was quitting, I didn't know exactly what I wanted to do in the crypto space, but I had to learn. I didn't want to have one leg, in the medical field, and then one leg in this space. I just wanted to quit so that I can focus. So I first started out as building a community, teaching people about crypto and helping people understand that, apart from, losing money, there's some air of legitimacy in the space. So my work, I was simply teaching people about trading. So later on, I got to learn about trading, and now I just provide platforms through my brand Crypto Hub Kenya, where which allows people to learn. I don't train. This is why I train developers, train traders, but I just don't do it myself. For me, I just bring and build a community. That is my strength.
Fantastic. Henry, I see you there. You want to say something?
Yeah, sure. Thank you. I like what Faiza said. This will be the year of flashing out shitcoiners and those new to the industry. So to my view, cryptocurrency is here to stay. Although a lot of people are blushing and say a lot of stuff, they don't bother to learn, or with the emerging technologies. It started as way back as internet started. A lot of people blushed the internet, and here we are. The internet is still here. Everybody is using it. So I think it's the same for cryptocurrency. It's gonna stay here forever, and everybody will keep using it. So this stuff will change how we operate. The same banks, how banks operate, the way we buy bonds, the way we buy everything will change. So if you take a time and start educating yourself, probably on DeFi, this is decentralized finance, you see how we are going and where we are heading. So DeFi protocols will change definitely everything, how our traditional banking system operate, and everybody will start using this new technology. So my advice to people is spend your time. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So my advice is take your time, read, educate yourself. There are a lot of opportunity in this field. It's a new industry. We don't have a lot of people. So if you take your time and you have a lot of knowledge, you'll benefit a lot. You don't need to learn to be developer, or you don't need to learn to, start building your own coin. You can learn how to, how stuff are running, and you can get a job as a marketing or some stuff of other kind of job in the field. Yeah.
Thank you, Henry. Thank you, Henry. I see Eric here also has something to say, and I'm so happy to see many of you coming on and commenting. The floor is still open for everyone. If you have a question, by the way, for Kwame, for Raymond, for Uche, and anywhere, everyone who's here as a speaker there, I'm sure they have a lot of knowledge. So the floor is open to all of you. But Eric, go ahead. Let's hear from you, Eric.
Hello, Leah. Hello, Maria. Thank you very much for this opportunity to speak on this space. My name is Eric Jr. and I'm 18, and I've been in crypto for almost 3 years now. So what I do is basically I work with projects, cryptocurrency projects, as a marketer and social media manager. And I'm telling you this because I want you guys to not see this space as only trading that you can make money. You can quit your job and work in the crypto space. And the funny thing about this is, here they don't require you, or they don't need your certificates. They just ask you for your CV, your experiences, the companies you've worked with, and even your Twitter. So here, kind of your Twitter is sort of your resume. So that makes it really, really interesting working in this space. And also, just to start with, coming to this space, this all Web3 thing, just first thing I just recommend for newbies or anyone coming here is you have to change your mindset totally. That's the first step. Because don't see this space as quick money making scheme, or you just coming here to make money. Because people are buying just JPEGs for $300,000 and even up to $1 million, and they're not buying that just for the money. They are buying that to have that ownership of owning a JPEG. So just about that, just change your mindset. Because the more you're even that desperate to make more money, the more you get even you fall victims to scammers, because the scammers also feed on that, and they present you with funny ways to make money, and you also connect your wallet and they scam your money. They run away with your money. And also, for once, people should see Bitcoin as real money, and just the same way that nobody will give you free Ghana cedis or dollar just offline for free, just not for doing anything. And there's no way anybody can just double your money, like your Ghana cedis or your dollar, for you. That's the same way nobody can double your Bitcoins for you. So people get scammed. So far, over $1 billion worth of has been lost in crypto scam just since 2021. So this is just something I wanted to talk about, since there are quite lots of newbies here. So just know that there's no way anybody will double your crypto for you. This is real money. Don't see it like it's digital, so people can just hack it or something of a sort and double your crypto for you or something of a sort. Just make sure you learn. And thirdly, I wanted to just make it really strong over here that this space, information is king. The more information you have, the more you can speculate and you can think on something and even make decisions based on your investments. So just focus more on acquiring information. When I started with YouTube. That's, I think, about 3 years ago. YouTube, reading more articles. YouTube, reading more articles. That's the only thing that can keep you surviving in this space. Just make sure you learn as much as possible, follow as many people as possible, and make wise investments. And also, for a newbie, if you want to just have that feeling of ownership of any cryptocurrency, I first recommend you get into Bitcoin. That's like so far the safest one, and that's like what many investors are into. So at least you know the chance of you getting ragged or like people running away with your money is really quite less. So just buy few Bitcoins, then just hold them, then start learning about the space, start visiting YouTube, start reading more articles about every single thing you can, and just keep your head up for everything. And also, I just wanted, if I may, I wanted to talk about a community we are building. We call it Web 3.2 Africa. And we teach basically everything for free from Web3, every single thing, DeFi, metaverse, blockchain, everything. And it's being managed by me. So I think even tonight, we do course materials every single week where we teach people about cryptocurrency, how to protect yourself against scam, and how to create wallets and wallet securities and everything. So yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much for this opportunity. And if I may, could I share the link so we could see if we can get more people to join the community? Because it's
All right,
totally
we'll definitely try and do that, Eric. But thank you so much for those great points. And just, it sounds like when it comes to trading cryptocurrency, you have to really do a lot of research. And I think that's what I'm getting from you, Eric. I've had that from our speakers tonight, and of course, just also listening to Faiza. I see there's someone else here who goes by the name Crypto. Calls himself, or the organization calls itself Maujanja Crypto. If you can hear me, let's just hear from you what you have to say.
Hi, Le and Maria. Okay.
Hi.
I'm Gabi, the founder of Maujanja Crypto. We are the crypto consultant based in Tanzania. So what we do free training on various stuffs on blockchain, including crypto, Web3, decentralized finance, and the many other stuffs. So I can start describing the topic like, is cryptocurrency, is it for Africa? I can say yes, because at first the monetary system in Africa, we started from barter trading, of which barter trading is just a peer-to-peer monetary system, of which there was no single entity, there was no central bank which control these peer-to-peer trading. So I can say yes, cryptocurrency is for Africa, but the issue with these blockchain stuffs and cryptocurrency stuff is it came in Africa in a way that many people was thinking of getting rich quick in cryptocurrencies, and they were not interested in experiencing the technology behind cryptocurrencies. I mean, the blockchain technology. So my contribution to the Tanzanian community at the crypto firm, we train a lot of people, and we train for free. I mean, many people can can interact with these crypto projects and crypto ecosystems so that they can know what is inside the crypto space and not these get rich quick. So, for example, we have a lot of benefits in crypto space, like the transparency in the ecosystems and efficiency in the ecosystem. So I think this is what we are focusing in, building the community which love to interact with crypto ecosystems and not getting rich quick in the crypto ecosystems. That's all.
Yes, can I quickly jump?
Thank you, Mwanzo. I'll just call you that because your account says Mwanzo. Maria, I see you have a question for him. Go ahead.
Yes, I wanted to ask actually Crypto Mwanzo about that. And I heard that he mentioned training in Tanzania. There is a big problem actually of language divide. As you know, some of the speakers and participants who are from other parts of Africa may not know, Tanzania is almost most dominantly Swahili speaking. So it means that English might be a bit more difficult for some of the young people to engage continuously. So do you do your training in Swahili, and how do you see basically the crypto being something that may not necessarily be inclusive to those who do not speak fluently English?
Okay, thank you, Sister Maria. Okay, what we do, we train Tanzania. In Tanzania, we train. We use Swahili as our native language. So actually, we partner with, for example, we partner with Polkadot, which is among of the top 10 blockchains in the crypto space. Also Binance. So what we do we use Swahili as our native language, and it has been impacting a lot of people here in Tanzania. For example, last few weeks, we were at Iringa where we had a training, physical training of almost more than 80 people. So we do this every month, and we do this every day online, and we've been impacting more than 5K people in Tanzania. So language is not a barrier here. We do each and everything in our native language. Hello?
Hello, we can hear you.
Yeah, thank you.
Did you hear me?
Yes, we did.
Thank you. Leah, back to you.
All right, thank you, and thank you. I'll just keep calling you Mwanzo because I really don't know your real name. But thank you so much for your comments there. Great question there, Maria. I do see there's also someone else who'd like to mention something. Going by the name the Watchdog. You can go ahead.
Good evening. I'm gonna answer your question, Leah. Why people get hacked and using crypto of other self? That start because you're doing yourself. Because people don't use internet properly. If you be like right now 150 people, if you go in your Google research history, you will see all the information. You leave it online. When people using the website, they don't clear the browser. They leave the information behind. If you go in history, you see everything what you're doing. You just give your people the information what they need. That's one start. People do not use a VPN. VPN, why people using VPN? VPN is to protect your IP address. So a hacker cannot get your IP address. That's why people use a VPN to stay private on the internet. Crypto is good. Crypto is good. Why? Wallet. You have the wallet, Ledger, and you have MetaMask. Like MetaMask, some people don't know how to use MetaMask correctly, and that's why they get hacked. because they go in a website, the website tell them, pass your phrase code. What they do, they enter the phrase code, you get hacked. MetaMask tell you, write your phrase code down. What people do, people will take a snapshot of the copy paste. When you copy paste that phrase code, just make it digital. When you make it digital, it is in the air online. Just a hacker need to find it and who is the owner. When you make a screenshot of your phrase code, the same thing. You go online, you make yourself vulnerable for people to hack you. When you use MetaMask, you connect to the site to stay in DeFi. When you finish, it's a 3 dots. You go on 3 dots, you see site connection. You disconnect all the site from your MetaMask. So no people can exit your money, what you have in your MetaMask. You have custom RPC. When you bridge using those things, you go back, you erase everything. That's how people don't use MetaMask correctly. That's why people get hacked in the space and use it MetaMask. They don't know use it properly. That's the things with MetaMask.
Thank you so much for that insight. And that was very key for me, especially just hearing the different stories. And even some of us have shared here that we have gone through hacking while trading cryptocurrency. Raymond, one person here has mentioned and said, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. But yet we hear that a coin can actually, or rather a crypto can actually fluctuate and go all the way to zero on a given day, but also can really shoot up and you make a lot of money. Would you really call it a get-rich-quick scheme, Raymond? Is it?
Hello, Leah. I think I had snippets of what you're saying, but I think you're alluding to get rich quick schemes, and that is a mindset issue. It was mentioned very well by Kwame. If you come into crypto thinking you're going to convert your $100 into 10,000, then you have already lost. Crypto is a business like any other. You cannot get wealthy overnight. If you look at the stock market, if you look at any business, real estate out there, most of the very successful, very wealthy players, they have been at it for many years. They understand the rules, they understand the fundamentals, and then they of course apply themselves patiently before you take any crypto. Do your research, understand what value is it offering to the marketplace. Is it something that is needed and required? And then of course once you're satisfied with all the fundamentals, then of course you get into play, and then have your exit strategy. Are you going to exit when the coin does 2x or 5x or 10x? So get rich quick is really a mentality, and I think just to digress a bit there on crypto, if you look at one of the vices in Africa right now is what we call gambling. This betting culture that has really got into Africa. I remember about two years ago, looking at the statistics in Kenya, there were about 2 million young people between the age of 18 and 35 who were gambling away about $10 million every month. So that mentality is what we need to get rid of. And of course, if you get a lot of young people getting into sports betting at a very early age, it becomes a challenge, and they go into every other sector with the same mindset that I can put in peanuts, and then of course I expect to get lucky. So crypto is not a place where you just come and get rich quick overnight, but there is no other industry, as Kwame mentioned, that has created a lot of success in such a short period of time. I mean, crypto has been around actively, I would say, less than 10 years. But if you look at real estate, if you look at the normal financial markets, if you look at the normal stock markets, it has taken years, for people to make it, and has only favored those with, huge resources. Crypto allows anybody with a small level of resources to get in, as long as they are patient and they do their research and understand it very well. Then obviously, for me, crypto is get rich sure, as long as you're willing to wait, 3-5 years thereabout. Back to you, Leah.
Thank you, Raymond. Kwame, if you were to give tips, as someone who, like you, I know you've mentioned that you've been studying the cryptocurrency market for a while, and you've made money, lost money. You're now coaching people, having gathered a lot of knowledge on how to trade. What will be the key tips you can give someone who's listening now and saying, hey, I want to get on this cryptocurrency market, but what are the tips that I need to have before I embark on, engaging in the market?
Thank you, Leah. I think that instead of giving a huge list, and I could have gone in and give about 20 tips just off the top of my head, I'm going to give the all-in-all overall tip, which is you will not go into real estate investments without understanding real estate or having a professional real estate investor or institution guide you. Same thing applies to the crypto markets. This is as I speak to you, a 1.29 or $1.30 trillion industry. Don't approach it as a joke. Don't approach it as a betting opportunity. Don't approach it as a get rich quick scheme. Don't approach it as something that the kids are playing with and you're just going to throw $100 in there. So my number one tip is learn the literature. Apply yourself. The beautiful thing about cryptocurrencies, that's our brother who came on earlier, the 18-year-old brother who even has a community that's teaching it for free. The information, the knowledge, and the teachings of cryptocurrency are so ubiquitous and available almost everywhere. All you need to do is apply yourself and give yourself the time of day to study. For me, the inspiring factor should be this one skill after you've gained it could literally change your wealth and your money and your entire economic life for good. This is the type of skill that people should actually pay top dollar for. Their ability to wake up, get into behind your PC, behind your phone, connect to the internet, look at market conditions, look at the news, look at fundamentals, look at technical, and enter the market and exit with money on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, on a monthly basis, and even on a long-term basis. That's a skill that anybody should go for. So even if you're not thinking profits, even if you're not thinking technology, think profits, think the ability for this thing to change your life, and apply yourself. You go 4 years for a degree in hopes of getting a job that would pay you a certain amount of money per month. Maybe you should use that same approach and say, instead of 4 years, can I apply myself to 4 months of dedicated studying? Every day I'm going to dedicate 2 hours to study about cryptocurrencies. You will be shocked where you are 4 months from now. And then once you take $1 or $2 or $100 or $100,000 or $1,000 and you come into the market, you will not be coming in as a stranger who's come to try their luck. You're not coming in with try and error. You're coming in, okay, I've done 4 months of diligent studies and research. I understand the fundamentals. Let me apply 1% of my net worth, see where it goes in the next 6 months, and make a decision from there. That would be my recommendation. The other would be look for somebody who's done it and follow their lead. But I'm not here to push coaching services or any of that. So the first one would be my best advice.
Thank you, Kwame. I'd like to hear from Uche. I know, Uche, you mentioned that you're also trading crypto and you've made money, you've lost money. But if you were just to give, advice to someone who's now considering getting on the platform, what really would be those 2 or 3 things, or maybe in a nutshell, like Kwame, that you can tell someone who's probably trying to invest in the cryptocurrency market?
Okay, good evening again, everyone. For someone just trying to invest in the crypto market, the first thing you should know is to lower your greed level. You need to lower your greed level, and you don't FOMO. FOMO is the FOMO this thing slogan the crypto enthusiasts use. Fear of missing out. When you are in the crypto space, you just see some influencers or some people talking about a certain coin that has done times 10, times 4, times 5, like that, and you be like, I don't want to miss out. The fear of missing out. Then you want to buy that coin also, and that way you are buying at the top, and in your technical analysis, there's always a retrace, and that happens. When that happens, you've gotten, for example, some people bought Bitcoin at its all-time high, I think about 69,000, and from 69,000, we've seen 25, we've seen 27, we are at 31 to 30 this time around. So if you bought at that time, because of the noise and everything like that, your capital will be down to about 40%, 40 to 50%. So you must have lost a huge money. So you don't FOMO, and your greed level should be very low, and put your ears down, be very, very attentive to information, go through the information well enough. So that would be my advice for any newbie entering into the crypto space. There are a lot of things that could make you rich, and there are a lot of things that could actually bring you down financially. Thank you. Back to you, Leah. Hello, someone there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Sorry about that, Uche. But I was saying, Maria, I don't know if you may have a comment you'd like to make, maybe a question to the speakers before we wind down the conversation today. It's been an amazing one, by the way.
Yes, definitely. And I actually wanted to quickly just point something out in terms of the question that I've asked. And if you allow me, Leah, can I quickly just get in 2 more speakers as well while we're trying to wind down? I do see here Mrusha Jones, I know personally has been in the startup business in Tanzania, so I would really be curious to hear from him. But getting back is the concern that definitely exists around the fact that there is a divide in Africa, and especially a language divide. I think that we forget that actually when it comes to the divide, there are actually people who do not speak English, whether it's they speak Arabic or they speak French or any other language. So I would be very curious also to see some of the speakers tackle that in terms of how do we get people engaged in the cryptocurrency for those who are not comfortable with English, but also getting back up, what do you do with those who may be latecomers right now but want to catch up? That would be something, conversation that I would really like to have, but I would like to first hear from Mrusha Jones before we get back to Raymond and the others. Mrusha?
Asante sana, Dada Maria. Good evening, morning, depending on where you're tuning in from. I never thought Mwanzo TV would actually host such a wonderful forum. So thank you very much, and thank you for inviting all the great speakers. Highly, highly, highly appreciated. I've been following from the very beginning, Maria, and I was hoping for a bit more of meat out of this skeleton. As Leslie pointed out initially, that maybe when we talk about crypto seem to be very high level now, it doesn't really resonate with the common mwananchi on the ground. And when you were just hinting about the barrier to access, barrier of entry, leave alone languages, but device connectivity, the understanding of it all is also one big barrier. So as Leah was about to point out that you're about to, close the session, I would first have an ask to say, this is a wonderful platform, and I'm glad that those of you that understand these platforms better, you're looking into it. Maybe for the next sessions, we could look at what is the potential future for crypto in Africa. Previously here, there was a point highlighted on the adoption curve, where you would have the early adapters before it ends up to the mass. So as we prepare for the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies in Africa, what is it that as Africans are doing to not only on board, but also protect all sort of asset class in the space for our fellow Africans? It's good to train. It's good to help them on board, and then we get some commission here and there. But we need to build tools that would also enable them to efficiently trade. I'll give an example. Somebody mentioned about USSD being one of the ways where ideally in utopia you would be able to connect to exchanges and do trades. It doesn't matter where you are, whether you're connected via internet or otherwise. So as to why that is not happening today, it's because maybe we talk more than actually build. So please, on the next session, if you would allow, phrase it in a way on what's next for the future of cryptocurrencies in Africa. My second comment, if you allow me, is on looking at what the governments and the regulators are doing in the space. I am lucky enough, because of my prior experience in the space, I've been at it for a very long time. If you can go to my tweets and Instagram, maybe you would spot some few things. But I was fortunate enough to work with one of the world major banks, and one of our innovation hub, actually Maria, was in Budapest, and we were working on one coin that the bank would use to trade across. It was very well built. The challenge came to regulators. They were regulated by OCC, Office of Currency Control in the US, and all over the place. So it didn't launch, but the attempt was done. But now, since then, that was 2013, things are picking up, where you are seeing regulators not only relaxing as far as trading with cryptos to fiat currencies, but also asking contributors to jump in, advise them on the CBDC, central bank digital currencies. I'm also fortunate enough to work on this with two governments in the region. And of course, my very own in Tanzania, with the president kind of indicating, leave the politics on the side. That is a space that need to be looked at. The central bank has been very, 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 very active about it. This year's financial institution conference that happened in Dodoma, one of the theme was looking at CBDC, and we have had several meetings thereafter. So why am I mentioning this? I'm asking for all the efforts that young people are investing into understanding the crypto and the blockchain. Please also add on how better CBDC could work. I would throw in an example in a gathering like this that has people from Ghana, Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania. Look at inter-Africa trade and how we have to benchmark our trade and transact through a USD, Euro, or you name it. What if there was an Africa-wide blockchain-based central bank managed currency that would allow us to trade our fiat in and out of that, but also enable cross-border transactions and payments to the smallest unit, even if you want to buy coffee? Is that a far-fetched dream? Maybe yes, maybe not. But let's bring it close to home. We have had an East Africa shilling, one currency, and we know what happened. And if you ask me honestly, if we have to introduce another East Africa currency we might end up with the troubles that the euro is having. So I would ask the young people in the room, when you speak to the officials in your country and they talk about economic integration and maybe one East Africa shilling currency, ask them to look at cryptocurrency and CBDC, because we could have one digital currency, could call it e-shillings for East Africa, and still retain our respective current coins and notes. And only when we need to trade between the countries, we use that digital currency. Maria, I don't want to take too much of the time. I just wanted to pose more questions so that we consider as we plan next spaces like this one. Asante sana.
Thank you. And Leah, I see you're back. I do recall that we were actually discussing about the digital currencies, especially those that have been released by the central banks that you very rightfully pointed out, Musha. But we sort of said, let's have an introductory conversation around that and then see how we can widen it up. I love the idea around the single digital currency for East Africa, or EAC. I think that is something that maybe next time what we can do is also get some of these decision makers on board, right, Leah?
Yes, definitely. I totally agree with you, Maria. One thing I must say, the cryptocurrency conversation is very wide. So I think this conversation was first to lay the foundation, help people understand the workings behind. We got software developers here who have been able to explain to us the ways to make the money and how to protect yourself from hackers. All these things are just basically laying a foundation. Then we can possibly, like you've mentioned, Maria, get the stakeholders here, tell us exactly how this is going to work, and what the future is like. But I also want to mention this because the final question for us, Marusha, was basically, is this cryptocurrency? And that's our question today. Cryptocurrency, is it for Africa? And that's basically touching on the future of cryptocurrency in Africa. And I'll just begin with you, Raymond, even as we come to a close. Sadly, Kwame has gotten off, hoping to have him back, hopefully. But let's begin with you, Raymond. What do you think is the future for cryptocurrency in Africa? And is it for Africa?
All right. Thank you so much again, Leah. Yes, cryptocurrency is indeed for Africa. And of course, it's for the entire world, not just Africa. It is the future. And if you look at, if you look at the World Bank, the IMF, they have predictions that by 2032, 10 years from now, there will be no more physical cash in almost every nation on earth. So obviously, cryptocurrencies has opened the door to digital currencies and assets. Stable coins, of course, central banks are pushing at it. So there is a great future for cryptocurrency. It is not something that anybody should ignore. I mean, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, many people in Africa did not even want to hear about it. But, they've just realized that, they should have paid more attention. It's still early days. So my hope is that everybody in our lovely continent, will look at it seriously and get involved in one way or the other. Back to you now.
Thank you, Raymond. Uche, what will be your parting comments regarding the future of cryptocurrency? I know you are a trader. I've been mentioning this, and I think it's very beautiful that at least we had you on to give us first-hand experience, because like we said, cryptocurrency is not something like a get-rich-quick scheme, and that has come out very strongly. But when you look at it from a trader's perspective, would you say there's a future for cryptocurrency in Africa? Is it for Africa? I don't know if Uche can hear me. Let's just come back to Uche. I see there's a bit of a challenge there. I'll just throw that question to... Yeah, I see Igwe. I think we go with you, Igwe, before we get Uche back. But Uche, we're working on getting you on as a speaker. Go ahead, Igwe.
All right. So, the future of cryptocurrencies in Africa, I think it's big. I think it's going to work. My perspective is that originally Bitcoin was created to, and so this will eventually be how it works in Africa. And why would this be? I think that inflation and the government mismanagement of various countries' currencies. I think even CDBC could fall into this problem. It would eventually lead to a big collapse, and only those that will be hurt are those left holding the government currencies. And Bitcoin and some digital currencies are a way to stay away from the impact of uh, currency overreach done by the government and some other big banks, central banks. And somehow, if as long as it's decentralized and it stays in Africa and the whole world, you can exit any country's financial system whenever something is about to blow up, which is inevitable as long as the fiat currencies are used. So, and on another note, banking the unbanked, we have a lot of phones being deployed in Africa every year. So this is definitely growing year over year in percentages. So eventually there will be connectivity across the continent, and the only way to transact would be not physical cash but digital means. It could be CDBC, but at least it would have been led by the innovations happening right now in the cryptocurrency market.
Thank you, Igwe, for your comments there. I see you, Chair, you're now able to speak. Again, the question being, is cryptocurrency for Africa? Do you see a future for cryptocurrency in Africa?
Yes, there's a big future for cryptocurrency in Africa because from the onset, sending money across has been really difficult sometimes from abroad, the US, down to Nigeria or anywhere in Africa. It's really difficult sometimes, the banking system. I don't know about other African countries, the banking system, but the Nigerian banking system, sometimes, so if you want to school abroad, sometimes your tuition fee is being sent by your parents or anything would get delayed and you have to source for funds. You be scouting up and down for the fund. And so I must tell you, cryptocurrency has made it very, very easy. Very, very easy. You could just get your money, buy crypto, send to the person across, buy crypto, and they receive it in less than a minute. And they also change it and, get the funds there in the currency, in the country's currency, and help sort themselves out. So only that simple example there has shown you that we need this. We don't have a choice. It is the future, and if you want something fast, if you want to get on something that is futuristic as this, we need to come on board faster. So definitely it is for Africa. And looking at the remittance charts, hello, can you hear me?
Now we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, I was saying, looking at the statistics of the remittance that is happening in sub-Saharan, it has increased a lot lately from 2019 to 2022 now because of crypto. It's easier to send money and everything like that. So, I think it is sabotaging the efforts of the banking industry, and it's not like it's sabotaging it, but they feel it's sabotaging it, but it's just making finance inclusion very, very easy. So this is what Africa should jump on, and it is really the best thing for us. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. By the way, before we close, I know in Nigeria, by the way, is really big when it comes to cryptocurrency trading. I know you guys have your country has not so long ago introduced the e-Naira. How is the e-Naira doing in Nigeria? Is it operational yet? Where are you as a country as far as the e-Naira is concerned?
This is a very good question, but I must tell you, the INRA in Nigeria is not operational yet, and I doubt it will be if it will be operational at all, because our system of government, is democratic, and that party might enter, and different policies and everything like that. So, but for now, even the particular um this particular government introducing that inner policy and everything, they are incapable of doing so much, because for you to introduce such complex monetary system, you must have researched and also know about cryptocurrency. But if you have done that and you still ban cryptocurrency, it means you're nowhere to be found knowledge wise. So I'm talking down on the government now, but the crypto has been banned for almost a year. Yeah, almost a year, more than a year in Nigeria, and we buy peer to peer, and it's been a whole lot of, it's been hectic. So you can't use your bank and buy, and you can't be found doing this in crypto transactions. So if you are doing a crypto transaction peer to peer, you camouflage it, and you can write on the narration, you can write fertilizer, you can write for electric equipment or something like that. So a government that is doing that, they are not ready for anything innovative, and you're bringing the in when you already have, because our banking system is already digital, very, very digital, and you can transfer money to someone in less than 2 minutes, the person receives it on their app and all those kind of things. So it is very, very, it is nauseating bringing in INARA. Very, very nauseating bringing in the INARA. So it is almost worthless here.
Thank you so much, Uche. We have come to the end of our conversation today. Maria, I must say, this has been an insightful conversation. We had beautiful comments from all our speakers, from Kwame Opoku, Raymond Kaptich, Ernest Igwe, and of course, Andrew Uche. We had Jeff Mkungusi. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to join us, but we're very happy to have had all these speakers. Maria, what do you think about the cryptocurrency generally? Just getting the knowledge from our speakers and even just other listeners who have come on board. It feels like, Maria, that there might actually be a future for cryptocurrency in Africa. We may have gotten our answer today because we were asking the question, is cryptocurrency for Africa?
Definitely, Leah, and I think that one of the biggest assets that we have, apart from the great minds, is also imagination. And I think the fact that we are getting some of the greatest, suggestions, like, I love the digital currency for East Africa. I love the fact that we can have a single digital currency for Africa. These are the imaginative things that for a young continent like Africa we should be discussing. So definitely we're looking forward for more spaces on digital currency, and we would like to suggest that anybody in the space who's got ideas should feel free. They can DM Leah about that, they can DM Mwanzo Media, and they can DM me as well. And we can see what we can come up with in terms of creating another space and inviting more guests. And definitely, as we've been told, we need to get the decision makers on board as well.
Fantastic. So thank you so much, everyone who has been with us today, the listeners, the speakers. We are happy to have had this conversation. Again, we will definitely try and get another conversation about cryptocurrency. And this time around, we will try as much as possible to have the stakeholders with us to give us more information and just an understanding of how the governments are working behind the scenes, just to make sure that, well, for those who are adopting the cryptocurrency, it's working in their country. And of course, much, much more. Thank you again, everyone, for joining us today. Until next week, again, Wednesday, remember Mwanzo TV, every Wednesday, 7 p.m., we have a different conversation from politics, security, business, social affairs. You'll find it all here on Mwanzo TV. And just in case you want to listen to this conversation and you missed the initial points, you can head over to our YouTube channel tomorrow and even just a minute after this, and you will find the entire conversation there on YouTube. And of course, many other stories, news content. Mwanzo TV has everything that you need right here on African News. Thank you once again. This is Mwanzo TV, and my name is Leah Ngari, my co-host Maria Sarungi. See you next week, same time, same place, 7 p.m. for another topic
on everything that has to do with Africa. Thank you again. Good night.